And coming up next, Emanuel Díaz, graduate student of the Market Research and Consumer Behavior, will address a speech in representation of all graduates.
My first day at IE was October 5th, 2015. I remember not sleeping well the last night and setting my alarm clock way too early. The sun was rising as I was getting ready, and before stepping out the door, I looked in the mirror. I smiled. I had moved to the city of my dreams, and as of that day, I was officially a master's student. But I also felt scared. I had left my country, my job, and my comfort zone to jumpstart my life with a group of strangers. As I arrived to MM11, I recognized through the name tags the people whom I would spend a year with, and also building stories of how will it all end. Yet here we are with our stories already forged. It's impressive how fast time has slipped through our hands. And to be perfectly honest, I cannot even believe we're graduating as full-fledged masters of our disciplines. Data, research, leadership, communications, visualization, relations. It's funny how easily the world is able to sum up a whole year into one word. Because for us, it has meant so much more. It was a year of life-changing experiences, long nights, heated arguments, to say the least, spirited teams, and momentous achievements. MBD, MRCB, MCC, MVDM, MIR, and examples. These were the acronyms who became our way of living. When on a tight deadline, without any booking hours left, the words, "Sorry, we have this room booked," have never been so painful. Skype calls with family have never been so rewarding, as when made during sleepless nights and across time zones. Birthdays have never been so epic. I remember awaiting my 25th one at MM31. It was 12 a.m., and I was working for a presentation due the next day at 8:30 a.m. because hashtag I took me here. And the struggles, the struggles. SPSS, R, Adobe, internal communication, and a thesis. Yes, we love you too. To our relatives, this story might be a bit different. Our year might seem like a blur of flamenco, tapas, bullfights, sangrias, and siestas, but the reality can be summed up in one of 21st century's most influential poets, Rihanna. Because what we actually did was work, 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 work. Readings, briefs, ad, presentations, WeTransfers, readings, essays, campaigns, questions, files, reading, quizzes, questionnaires, statistics, emails, more reading, tests, reports, graphs, numbers, more readings, drafts, first version, second version, third version, fourth version, final version revised, and more reading. Think about that time when they were closing MM31 at 3 a.m., and we were questioning ourselves if we will be able to make it to our house, to class the next day, make the deadline, and make it to graduation. Yet now that we are here, when looking back, everything seems less devastating, right? Our struggles seem less real now that we're finished, and somehow, we long for it. I can especially tell this when I talk about my experience, because halfway through my second term, when people back home asked me how was it going, I replied, yeah, you know what, my life sucks a bit, but how are things going back home? Whereas last week, a friend contacted me because he wanted to apply to the program, and I just said, you know what, you're gonna love it. It's amazing, you meet so many international people, you have so much fun, and I mean, you have to read a bit, but you get by. And of course, let's not generalize. I know there might be some people, or a few, that do not feel the same way about their experience. Some will not repeat this again, and some will do it all over again in a heartbeat. I find it constructive to question our decisions, but I also believe there is one undeniable fact about our experience. We grew. Never have I questioned my beliefs so much. Never have I pushed my limits so far. Never have I understood boundaries as well. Never have I felt so free, and never have I felt so powerful. This week, I met with a classmate to look for inspiration and asked her what was her key takeaway from this experience. She told me, smiling, you know, as much as I've learned about market research, what I hold close to my heart is what I've learned about myself. Expectations change, plans change, people change, we change, but we also get to discover ourselves and we blossom. So if anything, this was the year of having something to say, of being heard, of being meaningful. And this is because this year, we were more than students. This year, and from now on, we are global ambassadors. We are Lebanon. We are Brazil. We are France. We are Spain. We are the United States. We are Nigeria. We are China. And we're Puerto Rico. This year, what we said was much more than words. It was the reflection of a country. We understood the world from each other, and we made an impact. This concept of becoming your own country becomes such a beautiful one because you sit with someone who has never heard about your country, and you start explaining politics, economy, relations, food, music, people, but in the process, you start smiling because you talk about the wonders back home, and you discover that you come from the best place ever, wherever that is. I still laugh when people confuse Puerto Rico with Costa Rica, or when they think we drink piña coladas by the beach every day, or when they ask me about this song, Gozadera, and about what is this arroz con habichuela that Puerto Rico me lo regaló. Yet at the end, it's also a process of optimization. After they meet me, they might think all Puerto Ricans are loud, outgoing, rambunctious, and speak fast, which is not far from reality. But they also suddenly meet a calmer Puerto Rican and start recalibrating what they learned and broadening their scope. And this is what it means to be a global ambassador. It's about changing perceptions, about educating, and about acquiring meaning. IE's slogan is now true more than ever. Go beyond. As you step outside that door, never cease to become relevant, regardless of where you find yourselves. And when you hear that you're not good enough, remember that this year, you became your own country, and continue to pursue your dreams unapologetically. But not only does our slogan remind us what we need to achieve, but it reminds us of what we need to stand up for. Beyond generalizations, beyond judgment, beyond borders and beyond ourselves. As we were working hard on developing our open-mindedness, that work was not universal. While we were in our Spanish bubble, the world was transforming. And as we step out, it is our responsibility as such global ambassadors to share our cultures, to dispel fears, and to leave a mark of tolerance. I come from a small city in Puerto Rico, which in itself is a very small island, in the Caribbean, and our closest contact to globalization is meeting an American. So it is common for a lot of us to have a sense of distrust of the world. Although I've traveled around, my perception of the world was limited to a few foreign friends and what I saw in the news. But luckily, at IE, I got to ask countless of questions. I started to learn, and I started to demystify my stereotypes. So that when a worried friend from home called me and mentioned that I should be careful of who I got close to, I could describe any number of friends I had made from across the globe as evidence that his fears were unjustified, unfair, and ultimately harmful. In the end, I say this to him, and I say this to you. Halas. Halas is one of my favorite Arabic words, and it means enough. After a year of living abroad, amongst an international student body, we have the power to say halas and enough to these intolerant views. In the beginning, I spoke about words that define our programs: data, research, leadership, communications, visualization, relations. And while now we graduate as experts within these fields, we can't forget that we also graduate as global ambassadors. This privilege, though, comes with the responsibility of educating those around us, wherever we go. And this is the key to making a positive impact in society. Up here, while looking at you, I not only see my fellow graduate class, but 262 opportunities to start changing the world. As corny as this may sound, we're not just the leaders of tomorrow, but the leaders of today. Whether we want to or not, people look up to us, not just because of what we graduated from, but because we had the courage to leave everything behind to pursue what we wanted. But also, with all that we left behind, we welcome with open arms so much more. Just look around you. This was family for 10 months. This is family now. And this will be family for years to come. In some way or another, we made each other's experience worth it. I'm proud to say that today, we're so much more than a group of strangers who met at Aula Magna, for we have become an international network. Some found business partners, or lifelong friends, even romance. But I think it's safe to say that we all found that person or groups of persons who we couldn't live this experience without, who were there through thick and thin, and whom we especially don't want to let go. As our ending approaches and we start to say goodbye, the only thing left to say is that you have to make the most out of it while it lasts. A wise friend referred to this moment as the sunset paradigm. We hold to this beautiful moment for dear life, but we know it's going to end soon. So we take pictures, we enjoy what's left of it, and we then remember it forever. So let's make today the best day at IE so far, while always remembering that tomorrow we will have each other. And that together, wherever we are, we can forge a brighter future and a more beautiful sunset. Congratulations, class of 2016. We made it.